Hello, welcome to this power yoga session, which I hope you will enjoy and be challenged by and have fun with, and let's just go for it. When you do need to take a rest, couple of breaths, get right back into it. Today we're focusing on strengthening the back of the body. Okay, let's get started. Coming down to lie on your back. Oh, take a big breath in. Feel your body settling into the mat, stretching the arms overhead. Breathing in deeply. Here we are, arriving in your body. Let's draw one knee in towards the chest, lengthen the other leg. Draw the second leg in towards the chest, lengthen the other leg. Both knees in, have a little squeeze. So what shall we do next? Stretch the legs up. Stretch the legs up, reach the arms overhead. Moving the legs to come into the hips a little bit, warming up the hips, the hip flexors. Lean the legs over in one direction and the other. Okay, and let's come into our first bridge. First bridge of the session. So the feet are hip width apart. Feet are parallel with each other, fairly close to the body. Come up into a bridge, release the arms down. Just rock the hips side to side. So we've got a nice little warm up in our bridge there. And then bring the arms underneath the body. Come up a medium distance. Doesn't have to be too high, particularly not the first one. And let your body come to stillness. Gently making contact of the feet with the floor. Breathing. Consciously. And exhale as you release down. Interlock the fingers, take the hands behind the back of the head. Press your head into the mat, well, into your hands, into the mat. Tuck the chin in for a moment, pressing the back of the head. Lean the head over to one side so you feel it more on one side of the neck is working. Press the other side of the head into the mat so the other side of the neck is working. And then release, roll out the shoulders. Breathe in, come up into our bridge again. This time we'll lift a bit higher. Come onto the sides of the shoulders. And let's concentrate now on lifting the hips. Pressing the feet down. Make sure the knees don't sway out to the side. Lift the hips a little bit more. And let's hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7. Press the feet. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and release. Draw the knees in, extend the legs up for a moment, whatever you need to do. Let's bring the feet close to the body, lift up into our bridge. This time we'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. Lift, press the left foot into the mat. Draw the right toes back towards the knee. Let's hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the right foot down, re-stabilize, recenter, lift the left ankle on the right knee. Draw the left toes towards the knee, press the right foot into your mat. Lift the right side of the hip. You can also draw your left knee away from you towards the floor. Let's hold this for another 10, 9, 8, 7. Press the foot. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Recenter the body. Lower down on an exhale. Let's stretch the legs out. Another little shake. Breathe in. Lift the hips. This time, extend the right leg up. Yes, up. Point those toes. Oh, press the left foot into the mat. Reach the right leg up. Now it becomes challenging. Breathing. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Breathe in. Lift the left leg up. Press the right foot down. Like the toes. You can use the hands on your mat to help support you, lift you, or you can just let the arms, the hands rest and lift the hips without the help of the hands. Strengthening the back of the body. It doesn't happen unless we work. Let's hold it for another 10, 9, 8, 7. Press the foot down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Lower down, catch your breath. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Okay, let's bring the feet together, close to the body. This time, we're going to lift the hips, just like last time. Breathing in. Press the knees in together towards each other. Press the feet. Let your tailbone feel as if it's releasing towards the wall where the feet are pointing towards. So we don't want to be all tucked in and arched in the back. We want to be lengthened in the back. Lower back, long. Releasing the tailbone. Pressing the feet, and let's lift the hips, lengthening the back for another 10, 9, 8, 7. Press the knees. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down. Extend the legs out for a moment. Shake them out. Draw the lower back in towards the floor to give the lower back a bit of an opposite gesture, movement. And let's bring the feet together. This time, take the feet further away from the body, about as far as you can go, and still lift the hips. Maybe I need to have my feet a little bit closer. Feet together, knees together, breathe in, lift the hips, lift the spine, press the knees together. Use your glute muscles, your buttock muscles to lift the hips away from your mat. Lengthening the tailbone down towards the feet, or really up towards the knees. Might be a better description. And let's hold this, lift the hips for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Press the knees. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Release down. All right, let's come to one side, roll to one side. come up to sitting, and we'll come into an opposite kind of movement to release and rest for a moment. Take the knees wide, bring the soles of the feet together. Excuse me. Breathe in. Lengthen the front of the body and exhale. Maybe rocking a little bit, coming into some movement to release up the hips, release up the lower back. And just let the upper body round forward. It may be, if you have a tighter back, hips, it may be that you come this far, let's say this far, and that's about as far as you are comfortable with going. And if that's the case, that's fine. Just go with that and enjoy the release of the hips and the lower back. Might be a little bit further you can go. Release the neck. If you can, rest the head on the hands, on the feet, or of course, if you have a cushion or a block, you could also do that. Breathing in and releasing all that effort. Okay, one big breath in. Exhale. Come back up. Sitting on your mat this time. If your hands, your fingers, your shoulders are comfortable with the fingers pointing towards the body, go for that. If that doesn't work for you, you can turn the hands out sideways. If that doesn't work for you, you can come onto the knuckles. You have to be very careful with the knuckles, though, that when we lift our hips, that the hand doesn't flatten onto the wrist. I wouldn't advise that one, but that's there if you want to use that. Otherwise, you can also come down onto your forearms. Okay, so let's start with the feet hip width apart. Lift the hips just a little. Let the wrists get used to the weight pressing down. Press into your fingers, each of your finger pads. So the fingers are taking some of that load of the upper body rather than it all going into the wrists. And you've noticed I'm rocking it side to side, forward and back, just to let, oh, that's nice, just to let the shoulders and hands, the wrists settle into it. Exhale, release down. Tabletop pose, right? So let's come into it a second time. This time, lifting the hips a bit higher, taking the feet a bit further away, roll the shoulders back and lift up. Use your glute muscles, your buttock muscles to lift the body. Lengthen out the spine. Let your knees feel as if they are trying to lengthen the torso, the front of the torso, as well as the back. Breathing in, breathing out, nice and gentle breath. Pressing the hands, allowing the shoulders to open a little bit more. And let's hold this tabletop pose for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hips back down and come onto your forearms. Bring the feet a bit closer to the body. Breathe in. Have the elbows tucked in underneath the shoulders. Lift the hips. Let's extend the right leg out directly parallel, or at least virtually, almost, no, parallel would be down there. Let's do it parallel with the floor. There we go. Gently pointing the toes, lifting the hips. This is hard. I would suggest with the neck looking towards the wall where the toes are pointing. You could look up You could release the head back if that feels all right for your neck. For me, I'm going to look forward. Pressing the left foot into the mat. Let's hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down. So a little rest. And then breathe in. Extend the left leg out, and we're going to make it parallel with the floor. Gently pointing the toes, press the right foot down, lift up from the elbows. Let the neck be as released as possible. Breathing, finding your focus, your determination. Lifting the right hips a bit more, level the hips. And let's hold for another 10, 9, shaking is good, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Whew, release the hips down. Come back up to sitting. Let's see. Let's come into Navasana, boat pose, which I will show you this sideways. This variation of boat pose looks like this. We're going to lean back a little. Start with the hands behind the knees just to get your alignment, your lift of the spine, lifting the chest, and then let the lower back round a little bit. If we lift in the lower back too much, it does put quite a bit of strain on the lower back, so you want to be careful about that. Rounding the lower back a little bit, but not rounding the chest. So let me show you that again. Rounding the lower back, lifting the chest, and finding the balance between those two. Release the arms, palms facing each other. And let's just hold this. Heels in particular, staying in contact with the mat. Lean back a little bit more. Now starting to feel it. Take your arms wide. Oh, I can't take that one too wide. About 45 degrees. Feel that now? Bring the arms forward again. Lift one arm up. Bring that arm down. Lift the other arm up. Slow, deliberate motion. The higher the arm, the more it works the back, the upper back, the shoulders. Oh gosh, let's take both arms up. Ooh, a whole lot of shaking going on here. Breathing in. Find your determination. You can do it. Rest if you need to and come straight back into it. Bring the arms forward. Take the arms wide. Can't go too wide with this arm. Oh. Take the arms up, reaching back just a little. Shaking is good. I don't know if you can tell. I'm shaking. And I'm going to get stronger because I'm coming right to my edge. Okay, let's breathe in. Come back up to sitting. Rock out the hips. This time, I'll show you this way on. Sitting with the legs crossed, bringing the arms up. Leaning back just a little, rounding the spine. And then take the arms further back. Be careful not to fall back. Straightening the elbows. Breathing. You're leaning the upper back, the arms back enough so that you can feel the work of your upper back really all along your spine, but particularly the upper back, back of the shoulders, and the arms a little bit as well. Let's hold this for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, too slow, Maria, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Okay, let's rock that out. Take the feet wide as you can on your mat. Let your knees and your toes point upwards. Breathe in. Let the front of the body lengthen. Exhale as you, from the hips, hinge in order to bring your body forward. If you need to have the knees bent, this will give you a little bit more space around the hips and the lower back to be able to come forward without rounding the spine. So here, these forward bends, it's really important that the movement comes right down here from the hips, right down here from the sacrum and the hips, rather than simply rounding around the waist. I'm going to breathe in again, lengthen the front of my spine again, and then keeping the chest lifted and looking forward, coming forward. When you're really aware of the movement originating from the hips rather than from the waist, then you can release the upper body down. However far is comfortable for you, making sure the knees and the toes are still pointing upwards towards the ceiling. Relax, let your breathing steady. If you are here, it's also fine. However far you can comfortably go, that's where you want to go. One big breath in. Bringing yourself back up to sitting. Carefully bring the legs back alongside each other. Shake out. Right, we are nearly done here. One more round to go. Coming onto your back. Fixing your shirt. Get your clothes just right. Let's bring the feet close to the body, hip width apart, feet parallel with each other as best you can imagine. And let's lift the hips. Guess what? Bridge. This time, tuck the elbows in, interlock the fingers underneath your back, walk up onto the sides of the shoulders, lengthen the neck, release the neck. Press the feet into your mat. Make sure the knees don't roll out to the side. And let's lift those hips. Use your buttock muscles. For another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, lift the hips, 2, 1. Exhale and release down. Roll over to one side. Take the opposite hand to your mat. Here's my mat. Just so the fingers are just beneath the shoulders. Elbow pointing up towards the ceiling. Roll over to the other side. Do the same thing on the other side. If that doesn't work for you and the hands need to be further away, that's fine. If the elbows need to be wide, that's fine. If you can keep the elbows up towards the ceiling, that's great. So this, I know this isn't accessible for everybody. Just do what you can. Let's breathe in, and we're just going to come back into our bridge. The hands aren't doing anything except getting used to this position. So the hands don't need to particularly press into the floor. Try and keep the elbows in line, pointing up to the ceiling, not in line with the ceiling, pointing up to the ceiling. So let's lift the hips, use the buttock muscles, lengthen the front of the body, let the tailbone draw away from the lower back. Press the feet. For another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Press the inner feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay. Take the hands back underneath the shoulders. This time, feet the usual place, hip distance apart, parallel. This time we're going to do, if you can, reach up and come onto the back of the head. And let's do the same as we were before. Press the feet, lift the hips. Some weight on the hands, some weight on the back of the head. Actually, the top of the head. You don't want to be on the back, but the top, the crown of the head. And hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Rolling back down onto the body. Now I'm just going to have to move my mat because it's rolled that way, so that we can come into the last variation, which is actually a different posture, Urdhva Dhanurasana, the wheel pose. So there are options here for you. One option, even if that's too much with the hands on the floor, one option is repeating our bridge. And if you want, you can just rest the arms overhead. Second option is to take the hands into position with the fingers pointing towards the shoulders, come into your bridge. Third option is to lift yourself up to the top of the head. And the fourth option is to come up into a full bridge, which I'll do in a moment when we actually come into it. So, ready? This is the last difficult bit. Breathing in, choosing whichever variation you want. You can start with the full bridge, lower down, if you like, to the head on the mat. Come back down into a bridge with the hands and head on the mat. Obviously, you keep the hands on the mat. Breathing in, come to the top of the head, and if you want to come into a full bridge, lift up, press the hands down, release the neck, press the hands, press the feet. Let the body lengthen, and we'll hold for another 10, 9, press the hands, 8, 7, press 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head, lower the hips, Draw the knees in towards the chest. Lengthen out the lower back. Doesn't that feel good? Big breath in. Stretch the legs up. Okay, roll to one side. We'll finish with a recovery posture and then coming into Savasana. I'll show you this way on. Coming into relaxation, Savasana. Make sure you're sitting right on the sitting bones and perched. Have the feeling that you're perched on the front edge of your sitting bones. This will allow the top of the pelvis to tilt forward like this. If you're very tight in the lower back or the hamstrings, bend your knees. If you find that your lower back is like this, sit on the block. That'll give you more space for this all-important tilting the top of the pelvis forward. Have the feet together, knees together. You can have the knees bent or you can have the legs straight, as long as you've got that releasing of the top of the hips. Breathing in. Let the front of the body lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. Now we're doing this as a recovery posture from the bridge and from the wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana. So we're not going to push it. We're going to breathe in, lengthen the front of the body, and exhale. Feeling the spine. I can feel all along my spine how it's releasing and letting go, rolling up the shoulders. Drawing the toes back towards the knees. Releasing up the neck. Let your body come into such a feeling of surrender and softness and release, except for the legs, which are working right up to the hips. Aiming the belly towards the thighs. The longer you're in this posture, the more you'll find you can sink into it. Taking a big breath in. As you bring yourself up to sitting, lying down in Savasana. If you want to put on your socks here and put on your layers or a blanket so you're going to be nice and warm. Take the arms overhead. Have one final releasing out of the hips and the lower back. You've worked hard today. Coming into Savasana. Roll the arms out with palms face up. Let the legs relax with the feet rolling out to the side. Make sure the lower back is released, and a little tip for how to help that happen. Bring the feet to the floor. Tuck your tailbone under. Release the hips back down. Shake out a little. And then again, let the legs release down. And the lower back should feel a little longer. Enjoy your relaxation. I suggest a minimum of 2 minutes. 5-10 minutes is great. Try not to fall asleep. Instead, be so aware of your body, of the sensations of the body. Feeling the body release progressively, relaxing, softening, surrendering. Thank you for doing this power yoga practice with me. See you next time. Bye.